Hey everybody.
Hello.
Meowdy meowdy.
Hello.
Okay, welcome to the Depths Podcast. I am at your host, AtchmentumX, with my co-host, Lady Mystique. Say hi, Mystique.
Hi.
And we have some lovely guests here today to talk about sexual dynamics in VTubing. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, so today's topic, so we have 4 VTubers here who openly identify as bottoms, but that's not entirely the focus of this episode. We're all talking about sexual dynamics in VTubing. So a great many things we discussed today, such as bottom jokes, the way chat sort of like acts towards people who are openly submissive, and we're talking about sort of the environment out there right now for identifying a certain way on Twitch as a VTuber. So we're gonna start with introductions. Why don't you go first, Renry?
Okay. Well, meowdy everyone. My name is Renry. I'm your comfy, chaotic, eldritch shapeshifting VTuber. I normally do a lot of art, both SFW and NSFW, and sometimes I indulge in some games that range from puzzles to Metroidvanias.
Ooh.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Pocket, how about you?
Oh, sorry, I was typing in chat.
I just saw it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hi, I'm Pocky Trash. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the little bit of trash that's stuck in your pocket. You can call me Pocky Trash, or yours if you want, Baby Grill. I have no other introduction. That's all I got.
Impeccable.
That was a
No
good-
notes.
I love that introduction. Hell yeah.
Next up, we have Princess Shadowrose. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I am Princess Shadowrose. I am local femboy boy princess looking to make the world brighter every day. The best way, any way I can with my content.
We love that. Welcome in. And last but not least, we have Henrik VT.
Hi everyone, my name is Henrik, or you know me as Henrik, aka Bottom Bunny. I am a interdimensional bunny idol boy VTuber who wants to unite all dimensions through song and dance. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Henrik. Well, not really meet you. I know you, but still.
Yeah, you already know me. What?
Right. So some ground rules for tonight. Obviously, chat, be respectful of our guests. I know I don't have to tell you, but just in case, make sure that, with the topic being discussed here, we respect everyone's identities and experiences, and we're going to make sure that this is a safe space to talk about these issues and is an affirming place as well. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop them into chat. I will reply that I've got it, and I will find a good stopping point within the show to bring it up if I find it's relevant to the discussion. But to get us started, we have a couple questions prepared ourselves actually, and we're gonna start with a hot topic, which is, what do you think about bottom joke? Well, actually, no. Wait, hang on. Let me wind it back. We're starting with definitions. Isn't that right, Mystique?
That is correct. Also, you may want to crop pocket a bit because there's the little VTube Studio logo flittering in and out.
Is that what that is? I was wondering what was on, on Ren's side. I thought it was like...
Oh, I see it. I see it.
I apologize.
You're good.
So, hello everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am Lady Mystique. I have a background in sexology. I am not a practicing sexologist. I do not have a master's degree. However, that was my area of study, or one thereof. I have been a dominatrix for 15, 17 years, something like that. Very long, many time. And yeah, I've been involved in the kink community for almost as long, and I own a Femdom Discord server that I'm not active on. However, I do own it and was active on it at one time. Today we are talking about bottoms, but there is a difference between being a bottom and being submissive, and I think people often conflate the two. Being a top or a dominant, being top and bottom refers to the actor and the actee, the person who is acted upon. The actor or the giver is the top and the receiver or the givee is the bottom. People conflate these with dominant and submissive, which specifically refers to power dynamics within a relationship or an encounter, be it sexual, non-sexual, but it is the voluntary transferal of power. People conflate the two because often the submissive is the one who is acted upon, in which case they would be bottoming. However, that is not necessarily the case because, of course, you can command a sub to do things, and in that case, they would become the service top or the person who is acting on the dominant. So it's important that we make sure that we keep those definitions in mind when we're talking about topping and bottoming, and about how we speak about people and their identities.
Precisely, and even I needed that like crash course just now because I'll be honest, like I haven't heard the term bottoming all that much until like I entered the VTubing sphere. It seems like every single VTuber, like the only joke they know is like that joke. So let's turn to the panelists. Panelists, what do you think about bottom jokes? Why do you think this is a keystone of VTuber humor?
Oh, sorry, you go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no worries. I'll give my like quick little spiel. I feel like bottom jokes are like most other jokes. Saying something, typically if it's like an appropriate joke, you say it once, it's funny, it's cool, like I don't really care, but when it becomes like a constant, like every joke is a bottom joke and all of them typically are the same, it gets old and it's kind of like, okay, cool. Move on. There's better material out there.
So for me personally, with bottom jokes, it's almost become like regrettably, or like for better or for worse, it's almost like a meme now. It's like part of meme culture, so it's like an easy quote unquote joke to call upon, because since it's like at least it has been so ingrained in meme culture, it's something easy to recognize, easy to call upon, etc., etc.
It is definitely the laziest joke I've seen. Like, do you guys remember when they had the flowers for like Sakura season on Discord, like the profile pictures?
Yeah.
There was like this
I
meme go
remember
around
those.
Twitter, where it's like if you have these on your profile, you're a bottom. It's like they're just flowers. Flowers are nice. Like, why is this a bottom?
Yeah,
joke?
exactly.
What the heck?
Yeah.
That's
Either
so
that or it's like with the type of clothes that you wear or just any kind of mannerisms. It's just no.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, it's such a weird topic. Like, we have spent so much time like trying to break out of norms and break out of roles and all that, but now all of a sudden with like these bottom jokes and all that, obviously they're quote unquote in good fun, but it almost feels like they're trying to put people back in boxes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sure, but I would almost like to argue that like I don't mind it if it's like another bottom making that joke. Like I don't really care if you're like, oh, this is about me, I'm gonna joke like that. Kind of like jokes when like, so I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and like the running jokes that like, oh, like the bisexual haircut, like, oh haha, if you have that haircut, look, they got the bisexual haircut. Like it's, I don't mind it, but like I feel like if it's like the only humor there is, it's kind of like, okay, I'm kind of old. Like it's getting old.
I feel
Well,
where
it's
that
kind
comes
of.
in.
Oh,
I'll
you
say
go
something real
on.
quick. Sure. I feel like it's an in-group versus out-group thing, right? Like, like among each other, like
That is
people can-
literally what I was gonna say.
right, right. Like among each other, absolutely use those terms, talk
Great
like
minds.
right. But like when it's like people from outside the community like trying to use it against you, like or like, to put you down, then it becomes an issue, and then it's like a norm in this community to like try to put people, down with using those jokes.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't think the intention is always to put people down. I don't think it's like super insulting, at least not in the way they mean to be. Like, because at least from my experience and whatnot, when somebody like outside of your community starts coming in and like, let's say they start calling X streamer a bottom or whatever at whatever chance they get or whatever, that's, I don't think it's like, obviously there are people who would do it purposefully, but like a lot of the time they're like trying to be haha funny man or trying to fit in with VTuber community, because like the reason why, a big reason why we're even bringing this up is because it is a big topic / issue within the VTuber community. So it's like, you know, if every, like, so imagine if like this is the first VTuber this person is watching and whatnot, and from an outsider's perspective, they see that bottom and calling people a bottom and all that is more or less, whether we want it or not, a big part of the culture. They could be doing it just to fit in. Like I doubt there's like
some
many,
sort of like
I doubt there's like
thing.
many. Yeah, I doubt there's like many cases where people are doing it to actually attack somebody. It's just
I see what you're saying. So it's
trying
not so much
to fit in
that it's
and
malicious,
not
right?
understanding and all that.
Yeah, so
Agreed,
it's not so
but
much.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Pocket.
Oh, okay. Slightly maybe touchy opinion on it. I do think though that the idea of, oh, if it's cute, if it's pink, if it's something quote unquote seen as feminine, I do almost feel like the background of that does kind of come from a maybe like rude assumption, because okay, when you think about like the way that people categorize what is considered bottoming, so like the things that have flowers, the things that are pink, these are things that people typically will associate with like girls and women and like more femme things, which is automatically seen as like a little bit more less than what is considered to be mask.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree with that too, because I remember some people would like think that like some even like men in general too, were like if you see a guy randomly like say like, oh, I really like cute things, I really like fluffy things as well, they might think, oh, so you're a bottom, right? And it's just really, it's a like rude assumption, rude way of saying that like no, sometimes like they sometimes aren't even a bottom too. They're saying that I just really like cute things.
Honestly, it's a weird sort of assumption. Like people will like see that and it's like, oh, that must mean you like to be penetrated.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to that point that I made in the very, very first episode. The Renry was on as well, actually.
Yeah,
is that I feel, and this is my own like hypothesis. I do not have research papers, etc., to back this up. It is just something that I have noticed, and a hypothesis that I've formed personally, is that a lot of like homophobia and sort of transphobia is rooted in misogyny, particularly with women being seen as lesser, feminine being seen as lesser. They are either seen, people, men who are bottoms, who are submissive, are seen as identifying with that group and therefore are lesser as men, and women who are like either identifying as men or who are tops are seen as getting above their place. And I think that that's the root of a lot of these kind of prejudices.
Big agree.
And it gets silly too. And this is something that like Ren touched on the other day actually, where like there was this meme, it was like if your sleeves are like this, then that means you're a bottom, whatever it is. And then Ren drew like some artwork.
Okay, but I find those ones kind of funny, where it's like it's so like that is so like what?
Random.
Like I don't even like it's just like the most like random shit. It's like, oh, if you tie your laces, if you go like left bunny ear before the right bunny ear, you must be a bottom. Like I would think that's funny because it's just so stupid. But I also think like this just kind of comes to the idea that like why does this matter? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's that same idea of like where like transphobia is rooted in like, why do you care what's in my pants? What does it matter to you? Why do you care if I'm a top or a bottom? Especially as a VTuber. So for somebody who's not labeled a lewd tuber, I've never labeled myself a lewd tuber. I make sus jokes all the time. But like, why do you care what my position in bed is? Like, are you trying to wine and dine me? At least take me out to dinner before you try to fuck me, you know? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't
can
identify as a
definitely
lewd tuber
say
either.
I knew it.
I can definitely say that there have been some people who have that kind of mentality. Because there would be some instances where they're like, you know, are you a bottom? And then they, you know, try to slide into your DMs, trying to, you know, yeah.
Which, you know, I've never understood why people do that. Because at least for me personally, even if I was like really attracted to X person or whatever, like, what chance do you have? Like, they don't
I'm
know
dead.
you. This isn't like Tinder or whatever. It's not like they are within your area even. You don't even know if they're in your area. And
I'm
even
crying.
if you have
Hot VTuber bottoms in your area, click here now.
and every time, like, so first, like, even if you are the rizziest motherfucker or whatever, and like you're actually giving like the VTuber a good time or whatever, and they're, you know, actually giving you maybe that kind of attention, one, they still don't know you, and for another, they might be like half the world away. Like, I don't know why some people think they can just slide into DMs and then all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh my gosh, it's fucking destiny or whatever. You know what I
How
mean?
did you know? Oh my god, it was fate.
That's how Atra and I became friends.
I'm dead.
By the way, Ren, do I have permission to show the meme you made about this?
Oh, but by all
I love that. I'm sorry.
The
Like, I know we
fucking
just
story.
talked about how we were like, oh, you know. Oh, stop! I love this.
Wait, is the meme here? Give me
It's
a-
on
It's on
Atra's
screen.
stream.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my. Ah, so I must be a super bottom.
That sounds like a really bad Marvel discount superhero name.
Super bottom.
Oh my
Super
God.
bottom.
Help!
Ooh, woo, daddy.
Don't worry,
fallen
super
and, like-
bottom's here to help.
God, makes you cringe to death.
Just
I'm
slaps you with the
dead.
sleeves.
With the
Flop, flop,
power
flop,
of
flop,
my
flop,
ass,
flop.
I'll save you.
Dead.
I think that Pocket and Remy were making a good point that often it is just fun and like it can be funny, but it can also very quickly turn mean-spirited. And it can feel mean-spirited even if it's not intended that way, because it's just something that's like hammered at you all the time. So I think it also plays into like the culture of bully the streamer kind of thing. It's funny.
Yes.
Mhm.
Bully the streamer
Exactly.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
think
it's not
also...
actually that funny. Oh, sorry.
No, don't say sorry. I interrupted you. I think it's one of those like so for those of you who don't know, I'm also a woman of color, so I feel like there's like a lot of like intersectional feminism. Woo.
Ring
But
the
I
bell.
think,
She said intersectional.
yeah,
Ding 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 ding.
I did it. Wee. But I think one thing that I notice is like the way that like individual interactions people think don't matter, but it's when it like builds up. So like the way that I for those of you who don't know, I studied psychology and sociology and legal studies in my undergrad. So one of the examples that we talked about when we talked about intersectional feminism in sociology is this idea that like if you're walking down the street and all these people are punching you in the arm for no fucking reason, right? If the last person who punches you in the arm does it by complete accident, even if it's in good fun, you're gonna be annoyed. You've just been punched in the fucking arm how many fucking times, you know? So like, of course, like to you, it's a one-off funny thing, but to somebody else, it's like, you know, you've just had to deal with all of that. Why would I let you keep doing that, even if you think it's a one individual thing? So like for my stream, even the funny thing is it's like the way that Atra introduced us as like we all identify as bottoms. I actually don't identify as a bottom.
I apologize.
So, no, that's totally okay. I thought it was interesting because I was asked on this podcast when that's the assumption that people typically make, and that's why I kind of wanted to come and be like, hey, it actually isn't. I am more, and I think Mystique and I talk about it quite often. Like, I am more focused on like who is the person that I'm with, what do you want from me, and I'm more of a submissive in that way. So like in a way, yes, I fit here. In a way, the bottoming, maybe not. But yeah, so like I think it's interesting because like it's like everybody says it, and at first it's funny, and at first it's like, oh yeah, I'm okay with a few jokes here and there. But when it's like I've told my community before, like I actually don't identify as a bottom, and you'd be surprised how many people will come back at me with such like aggression, being like, oh, actually no, you are a bottom, and it's like, oh, thank you, stranger from behind the screen that I've never met. I didn't
Right.
realize you knew me.
It's not like no, this is what you are kind of like mentality. It's so toxic.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mhm,
Let me
mhm.
explain yourself to you.
Yeah. Let me mansplain your whole personality.
Like,
But
just, like,
again,
sorry. No, sorry. I was gonna like interview, like say else. I just like said, yeah, like yeah, person behind screen, just like an up down, like you're a bottom.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm
And it's
like,
like, oh,
what? You barely know me. I haven't even talked to you. I don't even know you. You
just wait till my
you're-
therapist hears about this.
like keyboard warriors. Like you are bottom. This is my final result or whatever. I'm like, I don't even know you, dude. But okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's honestly a mystery as to what like they feel like they are trying to accomplish, or like what points they are trying to win by doing that. The only thing I could possibly think of is for whatever reason they want to put you in their box, and I don't know why.
Ew.
Yeah.
it
The
probably
preconceived
comes into the
notions.
whole parasocial thing. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
want
for
you to
sure.
be.
Yeah.
This is how
Yeah,
I
for-
imagine you to be. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
same conversation happens about like people are like, oh well, Pocket's short, and it's like I'm actually taller than most of you. Like I'm not that tall, but like I'm also not like people assume that I'm like 5 foot, and they're like, you're a 5 foot bottom, and it's like I'm not. I don't know what to tell you, besties. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm also not a purple haired anime girl. I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, I feel
Speaking
that.
of,
I'm sorry, I'm not a wife of your dreams.
Oh my god.
Exactly. Faces, I input the Konami code, you're bottom now.
Yeah.
But I think what's interesting about Pocket in particular, from like the people on this panel that I know, is that because you are very soft, very cute, very bouncy and bubbly, it
thank
just
you.
comes into our next sort of topic, is how your design and your persona on stream is quote unquote coded for
Oh,
being a
yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
so I wanted to bring up a point with that, with having certain designs or whatever, because like when somebody first meets you, of course the first thing they do is see you, right?
Right.
So and this kind of ties in with parasocialism, but this is like when this is kind of hard to explain, so stick with me. I can be very
Take your
scatterbrained
time. Take your time.
at times. So when you're this is gonna sound totally random, but like when you're looking for hentai, right? You will look up a certain tag, whatnot, right?
Sure.
And okay, like I said, stick with me on this. So when they are looking for like an object of attraction or whatnot, they will,
I get what you mean,
look
though.
for
You like
that
assign
visual.
keywords or tags to things.
Yeah, more or less, because again, with Pocket Trash's example, when you would, if you are looking for a bottom as a, just like a kind of a visual attractional appeal or whatever, they do kind of like fit in with the general kind of the generalization of like what people would expect like a bottom to be. Like if you put Pocket Trash on like a hentai, you're obviously going to guess that she's the submissive, right?
I would like to
So
pause
when-
on that because I feel like that conversation as a whole is the issue that I have. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but because we're talking about me, I don't like the fact that what that conversation is, and I'm not saying that this is what you meant to do, but what you just did in that sentence is you're sexualizing my model. And I did not ask for my model to be sexualized. I did not ask for
That's
me
not
to
what
be
I was
put.
meaning.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that like, oh, when you're looking for hentai, when you're looking for some sort of self-gratifying
Sorry,
porn,
I didn't know how else to put it into words as an explanation of like attraction. When I meant attraction, I didn't mean specifically sexual attraction or whatever, because like puppies, people really like puppies. People look up puppy videos because they are attracted to that cuteness or whatever. They are like.
I think that what you're referring to is how we like perceive the world, and that we attach like meanings and associations and like tags to things. Like you look at a dog, you think dog, you
Exactly.
think cute,
like,
you think
if people are if like person X wants more puppy videos, they'll be clicking on videos with puppies in them, like with puppies on the thumbnails.
So it definitely sounds like we're talking about coding, basically, like elements of people's
exactly
sort of appearance being coded a certain way, like whether or not they intend to do so. So which is problem because we are VTubers, so like when it comes to coding, people have their ways of like coding people, like the deep dummy voice daddy VTubers, for example. And then when you talk to some of them, they're like, I don't like being called daddy. Ditto for mommy. Ditto for anyone who might be called like a bottom, for example, or even like someone who might bottom for you, like without your consent too. That's also a thing that happens a lot out here.
Yeah, but I think we can talk about coding without relating things to like porn, but I do get why you related it to that, because when you're looking for specific types of porn, you look for tags, but I think applying them to like individual people may be a recipe for misunderstanding.
Very scatterbrained and
no worries. I didn't mean to make it sound like I was upset or anything. But what I'm saying is like that in itself is like I think an example of the VTuber community is that there is this inherent assumption that you are a VTuber, therefore I can sexualize you. Because like you're not gonna go into like if you're looking for like a face cam streamer, you don't like immediately think, oh, this is like, well, at least that's my assumption. I don't think when I look for face cam streamers or any sort of streamer, I'm not thinking, oh, like sub or top or whatever. True. But I think with VTubers, there is that inherent, oh, okay, like what part of lewd tubing are you? When in reality, there's a good portion of us that aren't, and that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with lewd tubing. There's nothing wrong with being a part of that. But I do think that there's an inherent like desire from our like certain audiences where they're just like, I need to sexualize you, so let me put you in this box, and I'm not going to listen when you tell me that you don't fit in that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about lewd tubing.
Yeah. Being sus, I'm a family-friendly streamer.
I am very say-so.
So I think a perfect example of this is like Twitter lists. Sorry, I'll just make a quick point. Twitter lists. So I saw like some people will like make lists on Twitter, like breed me or something, like whatever it is, and then just add people to it. Yeah, this happens.
Oh yeah.
Those kind of
lists, and then like someone will just get that and like, excuse me. What do you mean breed?
The only list I get is from Bitcoin bots, and I don't want part of it.
Oh no!
I don't want part of it. Leave me alone.
Why not? You could be a millionaire in just 2 days.
The Bitcoin the Bitcoin currency failed about what 6 years ago.
This whole podcast was actually a con to come get Henrik to be a part of a new NFT.
Oh my god!
We're now watching
Tentacoin. To our lists.
Tentacoin.
It's
for suckers.
I was gonna say pocket coin because you put coins in your coin. Put coins in your pocket.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
But yeah, no, I think that it was a very good point that perhaps you made unintentionally, Rose, but it is a very good point that people categorize you in this way. And as VTubers, because we straddle the line between like real and fictional with having these virtual puppets essentially that we are controlling, the people see them as being removed from the actual person behind them, and they think about them in a different way than if you could just see like a human face.
Yeah, another thing I wanted to talk about when you guys were talking about the whole say so versus LewTuber kind of thing is, at least for me personally, I know a lot of YouTubers, even if they are say so, they tend to restrict their audiences to like 18 plus. So like I don't know if that's just like a me thing or like a my experiences thing. But like since most VTubers, even those who are safe for work, are geared towards adults, kind of the LewTubers almost kind of like influence a larger part of the community since it is comprised of mainly adults, and of course, you know, sex sells and all of that. And because of the well, obviously LewTubers aren't overtly more popular, they do like, you know, end up having so much sway and, you know, so much passion within their fan base or whatever.
I agree.
They
Yeah,
start
we do
to
have
assume
an
everybody is
outsized
like that.
influence, I think, on like the community at large. So a lot of things do come from YouTubers, like aras and like a lot of our ideas.
Yeah, and like some of that does have to deal with the fact that like VTubing is kind of a Japanese inspired thing. Like it does have minor relations to anime and all that, especially since a lot of VTubers, you know, consume that media as well. Obviously not all VTubers, but you know, we are, you know, inspired by anime and nerd culture and all that. So that does lead to, you know, like the RR redeems and the all that kind of crazy stuff that kind of becomes normalized. So when you run into a streamer with different boundaries and you kind of get confused real quick, or at least you start creating conflict real quick if you keep making those assumptions.
Yeah, it's just never good to assume that sort of thing about people.
Yeah.
I think people get wrapped up too. Like they act like this way with like 9 different male VTubers, for example. They'll find the 10th one who say so, and will be shocked when he doesn't like. He isn't about that. That's not his content, you know. But there like comes to be this assumption that, especially, and I don't want to like make this a gender thing necessarily, but I think definitely there is an expectation that like male VTubers have to play along to a certain degree with flirting, with being lewd, being called a bottom, being feminized, things like that, you know.
Do you think that female VTubers don't have to go through that? I'm not trying to like point. I'm just curious what that
I think
sentence,
there's less
guess, meant.
delicacy towards male VTubers. There's a lot more of suck it up if you have boundaries, whereas where these boundaries do exist for female VTubers and definitely have the same issues as well, I'm finding that a lot of people will disregard that immediately when you try to put a boundary up.
Yeah, I think it's very much depends on like personal experience and what you've seen.
Yes.
But there are definitely expectations, I think, that come with VTubing, like how you're supposed to be able to behave, and like people think that, oh, you know, anime girl, and that makes me feel a certain way, therefore I should be able to act towards her in a certain way, you know, or a guy, you know, whatever the case is. So yeah, I think that there definitely are expectations that are very different from how you would behave to like a normal flesh streamer.
Fleshy.
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 And that actually feeds into a point about, or something that I've brought up on my own stream, is that, you know, I have a lot of like body image issues. I don't want to be seen, but I also want to be able to like be sexual and flirty and, you know, be lewd. I think that is fun, and I am able to pour myself into this body that I find like represents me much more, and I'm able to like let myself free because of it. And I think that's why lewd tubing is so appealing to a lot of people, because they can be this idealized self, and perhaps that's why the concept sort of proliferates so far through the VTubing community, is people being able to like be less inhibited than if they had their faces shown.
Mm-hmm. Because I definitely am not, I do not find myself attractive at all in the real world. Like, I don't, like, being a femboy and all that is something that I, strongly wish I could do, but unfortunately I just don't, at least without having to put in like a crap load of effort and all that, which I'm slowly starting to try and do. That kind of body type is just like impossible for me to attain.
Yeah, I think what Tay is saying in chat about entitlement from audiences is a great point, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read the whole comment. Actually, it's a really good comment. Tay says, "I think a big part of it also boils down to this almost entitlement from audiences. Like, a lot of people feel entitled toward content creators because how dare they not appreciate how their audience is devouring their content, interacting. Like, for fuck's sake, Corpse started out as just a horror Reddit streamer on YouTube. When he started gaming, his popularity exploded, and all the thirst fans got him to almost want to quit all the content creation because of all the unwanted sexual advances / thirst culture."
Mm-hmm.
Renry actually has a good explanation of this with unhealthy parasocialism. Renry?
Yeah, with parasocial relationships and whatnot, a lot of people, since they lack that proper like safety net of actual real life relationships, they tend to project their wants and their needs onto other people, especially content creators nowadays. And so that's where that whole expectation of things with their with the content creator that they are associating with at this point. So like when they consume the media of this content creator, they have this sort of assumption that, oh yeah, they're going to see all of the stuff that I'm doing for them. They're going to see all of the, like that I'm there consistently, and that they're going to give me the validation that I am needing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people tend to have that kind of expectation. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they treat the. Oh, sorry, Henrik.
I was gonna make a little joke to say it doesn't matter if you're a tier 3 sub to me. I will not interact with your sexual advances, please.
Mm. Yeah, people treat their like support of you as inherently transactional.
Yeah, like,
which it isn't.
Another thing is, like, I believe kind of, and forgive me if I'm wrong, this is just like my personal thoughts or not. I think this could be also attributed to, like, I don't know if anybody else has noticed it. This could just be me, but like, it seems like there has been a steady but also great decline in like IRL sexual relationships.
I think that would be very
like that
difficult to say without like data.
Okay,
but
sorry, I retract that.
No. But like, I understand what you mean. That there is perhaps a lot more that has become online,
definitely
compared to where it was.
Surrogacy effect, where if they're, and this is an issue too with people who don't get enough intimacy. Like, once they're able to find it somewhere, it's like starvation almost. Like, if someone like just starts voraciously consuming something online like that, and they want to interact with
that is
the same
very
way.
true. That is very true, because I remember when I first got into the VTubing scene or whatever. And forgive me if I go on for too long on this. But I like immediately labeled myself as like a LewTuber, and I made a lot of generalizations and made a lot of assumptions that I shouldn't have. And when I was looking at all the sexual content and things and commissions that associates and friends were getting, I felt incredibly jealous to the point that I started making it known and started making it a kind of everybody else's issue. So because I lacked that kind of understanding and like the realization that I needed to detach myself from the virtual world to an extent that I could correctly interact with others in a respectful manner. Because, like I said, when I first got into the VTubing scene, I have tripped and fallen a great many times with all the information I did not have back then and the lessons I had not learned, and I have lost a lot of friends. I have been removed or outright banned from groups or whatnot because of how I used to be. But I have learned and I have grown.
I think this brings up a really good point, actually, which is we're talking a lot about chat interactions and community interactions, but what about other VTubers? Like, how have your interactions with other VTubers been? Especially when a lot of people enter the space not quite knowing the parameters of how to act with each other and sort of how to like avoid certain pitfalls, such as the ones that like
because I did not know how to act. I was more or less like, this is what I want, and I was kind of like just going for it at full speed, you know what I mean? And I was like trying to cement myself as like a lewd tuber or a like not safe for work content creator in a unhealthy fashion. I wasn't like outright trying to force people into things, but I was still like in a way aggressive and whatnot, in a way that made a great many uncomfortable and whatnot.
Sure.
Again, it took me being pruned from all these groups to finally realize how to better handle myself and better situate myself.
Well, it's good that you went on that journey, that you've grown from it as well, I'd say. Honestly, if speaking from my own experience, I found it interesting, like when I first started interacting with viewers and such, how often this bottom thing would be a meme. Like it was immediately weird to me, and like I'll admit, I probably made a joke or two about it too. Absolutely. You know, the key smashing jokes. Like I even made one in chat just now. Actually, to be honest, the amount of like assumed familiarity that comes out of that is so strange to me, and I don't know why people relate to each other in this sort of way.
Yeah, it's like there's an innate like condescension.
Definitely. It's a power thing, isn't it? It feels like a power thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Establishing dominance over something.
Yeah, like even me, I am very much top. I am not submissive. I am not like I will bottom for people if they're the right person, but I am not submissive at all. And the number of people who think that they, you know, just by talking to me like a submissive, they can make me act like that is interesting.
I think even just the conversation of like how is the interactions with VTubers? I think we kind of talked about it in our Discord chat, but even just like talking about it here, I think if you can't list 5 traits and personality traits about yourself and you can't not bring up bottom or top, I think you need to touch grass. Like, I think it is a problem if that is your personality. Like, your sexual relations, who you are in a sexual dynamic should not be your whole persona. Like, I understand, you know, if you're creating lewd content, that it makes sense. If you're like creating this lewd content and you are being, you know, that role in the lewd content, that's fine. But I will never understand why people are like in my DMs and the first thing they say to me is like, let me tell you what I got on my BDSM test score. And it's like, first of all, that test is shit. Second of all, why are you talking to me? Like, I had a joke in my bio at some point. I had a Vroid model or a V-Roid model, however you say it. And my hoodie said disaster, and there was a duck on it. So it's a disaster duck, right? So as a joke, I think I put it in my bio that like I'm a disaster bottom. Like in the same sense of being like a power top or power bottom or whatever those terms are. I thought disaster bottom was hilarious until I got those messages from people who are like, do you want to see how much of a pleasure dom sadist I am? And I'm like, no, I don't know who you are.
Oh,
Who are you
no.
and why are you here? I don't know. I think people need to learn how to have real life conversations without bringing up bottoming and topping. I don't know, like, do you go to work and that's what you talk about? Like, you're like trying to be chummy with your coworkers and it's like, hey, yo, baby grill, like, let me tell you I'm a bottom, like, let me bottom for you, BB.
Yeah,
no.
There is nowhere else you would do that but here, it seems like.
But that's my thing, is that, like, I feel like content, especially VTubers, and, like, I'm saying that because we're in the VTuber space, I don't think a lot of them realize that for a lot of people, this is, like, this is a job to them. This is a side job or, like, something that they want to make a career out of. It's not just something for them to make friends out of or a dating website for them. Like,
I want VTuber friends. Ooh,
yeah, like, oh my god, the interaction bait post.
Oh my god, ooh, if you like, retweet and just like comment on my tweet right now, I'll give you all the things I want. You give me all the things I want now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's so stupid.
Yeah, like, I understand to an extent that sometimes it feels like, but oh my gosh, like, I at first, like, being a new VTuber and all that, I was kind of used to it. I even interacted with myself because I didn't know what I was doing, but like after like having interacted with those posts a number of times and other such things, it is just straight up bait. A lot of them are never, they're not even gonna see your comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wanted to revisit the discussion happening right now about doming without consent and sort of like.
My God.
Let me turn it over to Ren. Ren, you take this one.
I get, because for those of you who don't know, like, my whole VTuber persona, I mean, even before I was a VTuber, my entire persona was, a dog tavern girl. So, very girly, frilly dress. Wait, let me just at least to show y'all. Like, very cutesy, very feminine, and obviously, dog with, like, the whole pet play thing of being puppy, which I do openly say. I do identify as someone who indulges in pet play in the more submissive sense. But, like, with that, people come in, have that expectation of, oh yeah, baby girl, I can hold your leash and yoink you close to me and do these things to you without your consent because I see you as a conquest,
Right.
I don't see you as an actual human being.
Conquest.
If I may, real quick. So, like, just how when I was new to the VTuber community and all that, when it comes to being a dom, I believe a lot of people misconceive what people find attractive in doms, because, and I feel like it has to do so much with the fact that it has to do with, power and whatnot. Not only that, but like posts you see and all that, and how it is constantly almost hammered home that like power is the biggest part of being a dom. It is being assertive. It is obviously multiple cases are different, but it is like being assertive. It is taking what you want when you want it. It is all that
toxic
kind of
dom,
stuff.
I think maybe.
Yeah, so I believe like at least obviously I wouldn't say there's a whole slew of them out there. Like, it's not like an overrunning thing, but like there's enough of them that it kind of like influences the softer ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially when you're coming out of like you're coming to the community and then you're just being like, well, this is how people want me to be. I'm just gonna go up to like feminine VTubers and say I'm gonna yank your leash or I'm gonna pull your collar. Stuff like you would never say to anybody.
Yeah, they're trying, and like when it comes to like new doms or whatever, or people trying to be dominant, a lot of the time they are trying to follow these like bigger names leads, or like because you're looking at them and they're like, oh, they have like a lot of experience with like being dominant, or at least they appear to have a lot of experience with being dominant, so clearly these are the right things to do, or like this is, or like again the general idea of power and conquest and all that are the ideals of being a dom.
Yeah. But yeah, then bringing it back to the non-consent thing as well, like I think people think that being dominant is the same as like being abusive. Not everybody, like some people, I mean, who don't understand like the dynamics of consent, and they think that being dominant means just taking whatever it is you want, and submissives will always love it. Like the way people think that like, oh, a woman will feel good because there's something in her vagina. Like anime does this a lot.
I'm crying. Wait,
Oh,
no. The men who are like,
oh,
do you
God.
orgasm because you're wearing a tampon? I'm dying.
Oh, we need more sex ed. Oh my
I've never
God.
heard that.
That's so hard.
No.
And they're like, oh well, you enjoy having something, you know, you
In
enjoy
you.
submissive, you enjoy submitting, therefore you'll enjoy submitting to me.
Right.
And like,
Ugh.
yeah, it's a very self-centered view of the world.
I wish more people would realize that,
It
like,
really is. but
finding
again,
a dom is like
Hang on
it's
a
like
sec,
a job
Rose.
interview. Sorry.
No, I said hang on a sec, Rose, because you.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm just saying, like, I think it's funny because I wish people would like treat it like a job interview. Like, why should I let you be my dom, bitch? Like, tell me why. Like, give me the reasons. And then if I say no, like, what are you gonna do? Do you like get rejected from a job interview and you're just like, well, actually,
I'm coming in on Monday
telling
anyway.
you, yeah, like I'm actually still going to do the job. And it's like,
So ridiculous.
it's giving desperate.
Desperation,
Personally,
ugh.
from my experience, what I usually do when people come at me like that is it's kind of like, I'm like, oh, so you're giving desperate. You're kind of giving submission. Like, I don't really think you can do this. And then they get angry, and then I block, and then I run away.
So two quick things is, again, like I wasn't trying to take away from the non-consensual part when I was.
Oh no,
bringing
I
up
was
my
relating it to what you were saying. I was expanding
sorry.
on it.
It's just when you said let's bring it back, my brain assumed that you thought I was trying to take away from that, or
Oh no, not at
something
all.
like that.
It's just that from what you were saying, it's sort of it started there and then deviated. So I was
Yeah.
bringing it back to what
Yeah.
you started with.
So with the getting frustrated part and all that, and of course, like there are people who are super desperate, and I think that, I don't know, it's this weird direction that society seems to be moving towards, because like it is becoming a bigger and bigger issue, right? It's not becoming a smaller issue. Like there's more and more desperate people out there. So I feel like a part of like that frustration and all that, perhaps they are just an emotional person and they can't deal with failure well. Like, because when Pocket Trash brought it up as like treat it like a job interview or whatever, right? And you know, are essentially told that you're not a good dom or whatever, that could be like really frustrating to some people, especially if they are, if they are out of their element and they are trying to explore the dominant side of relationships and themselves. And of course, I'm not saying like this to saying forgive them or whatever. I'm just saying that like could be a factor to some cases of these people's desperation. And
yeah, you just gotta bring it back to touching grass. I think again, like as is said.
Yeah.
Like you
Personally,
sorry. Go ahead, Pocket.
Oh no, I'm just like, okay. This might be a bad way to put it. I don't care
Right.
if I don't know you and you are coming into my DMs, you're coming into my comments or my stream, and you're saying I'm gonna dom you, I don't care if you want it or not, blah 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 blah. Like obviously, I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, Shadow Rose. I'm just this is me spitballing.
You're adding to it. You're adding to what they're saying.
I feel like I don't want to think about like, oh well, oh boo-hoo, you might feel sad about being rejected and all this and that. That sucks, and I'm sorry that you don't take rejection well or whatever, but you might want to learn how to talk like a normal person and not just have your first interaction with someone be like, oh, I'm gonna dom you and blah 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 blah. Like I don't, because that's part of my boundary. Like I don't think that I should have to be like, oh well, let me, like, I don't want to be the bad guy, let me not hurt your feelings or whatever. Like I don't know, just maybe if you weren't a dick, don't come into people's stream chats and assume that you get something.
Well, of course, that's why I said it's kind of like a case by case kind of basis.
Sure.
For one, and
I would say a lot of VTubers, when they see people interacting, like they see two VTubers interacting a certain way, they'll just assume that they can do the same. Like they don't know anything about these people's familiarity or like.
They want that same kind of interaction for themselves,
and they haven't
unfortunately.
They're just basically jumping into their own their conversation while pushing the other person out of the convo, saying that I can be way better friends with you instead of that person you're talking to. You probably don't know that their personality is like they're probably lying about their personality, how they act in front of you, when like you know them for years, you talk to them like almost constantly, like daily probably, and then this person just jumps in like, who are you again?
Yeah, and it's just like if you just see someone like being openly submissive to somebody or like play with somebody or whatever it is, they're choosing to make that public. That's fine. You don't get to get in on that without an invitation. Yeah,
I don't know if it's like sorry.
Well, I was finishing up, and I think that's like the number one thing that people entering the space need to learn, because like while this is a very welcoming and open community, and some norms are different in the VTubing community, that's a big one that people respect. That like your familiarity with somebody does not equal familiarity with somebody else, and vice versa.
Exactly. Familiarity and boundaries.
And familiarity with someone's content isn't the same as being familiar with them as people.
What? Yeah. You're not saying you are absolutely the same as every single piece of Mystique content that I crave and watch all the time? What? You are a person outside of when you turn off your stream? That's crazy. I was going to say, though, that I don't know if it's like taboo or anything to like say something about your chat, Atra, but I like the way that Tape mentioned it, because I feel like that's probably a better way of saying what I was trying to say, is that like somebody's fear of rejection shouldn't have to trump my fear of like, my sense of comfort. Like that shouldn't have to, like, I shouldn't have to go beyond my boundaries because you feel worried about being rejected.
I wasn't say that at all.
No. Sorry, I wasn't saying what I'm trying to clarify what I said, because I was worried that I came off as a bitch, which like not today, maybe another day.
Okay, well, just housekeeping real quick. If you guys spot anything in chat that you think is relevant or useful to the conversation, absolutely bring it into the conversation. Like they're all a bunch of smart cookies.
I was gonna say your chat is so cool.
Yeah, your chat is amazing. But I wanted to bring up one topic that I've known from my friend, whose name is Risuke Kujikawa. He gave me like a lot of info about about how people are because some people who don't know about like the terms top and bottom, some people are using bottom as a misogynistic insult to show it as like they're more dominant than this person, and said I'm better than you, you're just a bottom and all that, and it's basically just showing it as like toxic masculinity.
It's like calling someone gay. It's the socially acceptable form of calling someone gay now.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, do you understand how you're using that terms? Like, do you even know what you're saying right now? It just hurts. When I first heard that, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, people are actually doing this? Even people who are like not even part of the LGBTQ plus community, like some people use it as like an insult, and it's like, oh, you bottoms, you're a bottom, that person's a bottom, and I'm like, it just baffles me. Like, Are you
That's a
serious?
good point, though, because I do think some people don't realize that the terms top and bottom, at least from what I know, those came from the LGBTQ plus community.
They very
It
much
was
did.
not something
Yeah.
that typically people in heterosexual relationships would talk about. And I think it's really funny because it's one of those things again where it's like, mainstream media latches onto something from a different culture, like, or a subset of a culture, and it just becomes this like bigger thing until it is the most like insane
Until you
thing.
forget
Like,
where
why
it
are we
came from.
talking about? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it loses its original meaning. Just
Yeah.
Ooh, Puzzle also brought up or use bottom as a way to call them an introvert. No, not all bottoms are introverts. Like I have met like people who are very very like extroverted, like all happy, like have a lot of energy, and they identify as bottoms as well. And I was like, oh, that's really cool too. And even like most like even like even I met like people who have like like muscles and are VTuber models or like they have muscles themselves and they identify as a bottom too. But and people are like using that as like an insult, saying, "Oh, you like that, huh? That's weird. That's kind of cringe or whatever." I'm like, mm-mm.
They
Mm.
very
Again,
no.
often.
this is kind of like reiterating the whole issue of people wanting to put other people into boxes, which
Oh,
I think the conversation thus far has been kind of reiterating that point over and over, that for some weird reason people are trying to place other people into boxes. They are not willing to look past the first meeting or the first viewing or just like past appearances or whatever. They just, this is your box and I want you to stay in this box because for whatever reason that makes me happy or whatever.
Yeah,
ew.
sometimes it tends to boil down to like stereotyping because it makes it easier for your brain to process this information because we pretty much interact with so many people that for those that we're not really close to, we tend to just put them into like these specific keywords like you guys have talked about before. So like we associate them with particular traits that really stand out to us, so we make these assumptions in association with what we have seen before, which
Yeah.
does get problematic.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is also
You know-
why I forget exactly what it was, like what it was called at least. But it's why I like seeing a bunch of things that like kind of break that mold. I remember this one like web comic I was reading, where it's like this, kind of like goth punky girl or whatever, the one you would assume to be the top in the relationship.
Oh yeah, okay,
or
that
whatever,
one.
and then you have like the smaller, like flowery and dressy girl, one you would clearly see as a bottom or whatever, but in the way they act and all that, it is clear that the goth or punky girl or whatever is clearly the bottom, and the flowery dressy girl is the top.
It's funny because I think.
mhm.
Sorry.
No, Pocket, go ahead.
I think it's funny because I think we started this conversation off talking about the definitions and the differences between topping and bottoming and submissive and dominant, and we've almost fallen into the exact same thing that we're, I think, attempting to clear up with those definitions, because like we're talking about like sexual positions and like what is it about like, oh, a goth girl would look like, oh, she looks like she would be on top, like, but why? Because we've associated the idea of being on top with being dominant, right? And I just think it's funny that like it is so ingrained in our vocabulary that like
it really
hard
is
to like pull away from that.
Exactly. It's not that we are detracting or whatever from a topic. It's just we are talking about the issues surrounding the topic, how that these definitions can become so unclear or clouded and whatnot. Like we are bringing up the fact of like identities and boxes and assumptions because those are the things that we are trying to essentially break, that people need to start realizing that you can't label somebody as a bottom or a submissive or a dominant or whatever.
I think this delves
just because of how they look
into a point that Pocket brought up in chat before about the stigma of what it means to be a bottom. And I do kind of wonder like why there's a stigma attached to that. And you know, it sucks because like you'll see like some certain VTubers when they give you a little bit of like you know, vulnerability to chat. Chat just like bottom, and it's like it just discourages people from opening up. You know,
Yeah.
The Pocket. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about your thoughts on that?
So like for a while my stream didn't really know that I don't actually quote unquote bottom all that often. I don't quote unquote submit all that often. And it came to a surprise for a lot of people when they found out that I actually just kind of go with whatever my partner or whoever I'm with is more comfortable with. Which I think in a sense is very funny in its own way because it's like why would you know? Because I haven't slept with any of you, so I don't know why you would know. But I think the idea that like, oh well, we've labeled you a bottom, and what is associated with that is you're an idiot. And it's happened a couple of times where like my chat, like I adore them. I call myself dumb all the time because I make dumb mistakes. I don't mind joking about it, and it's fine. But every now and then there's that like little like, oh, you're a dumb little bottom. Why would you know? You need someone to come help you, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you made a mistake. That's such a pocket thing to do. And it's like, okay, like chill, calm down. I'm not actually a bottom, and I probably have more education than you. So like, I don't know, bestie, which one of us is dumb here? Like, just because I like accidentally close a tab that I didn't mean to close does not automatically make me submissive, and I don't really know where we came into that. But I also think there's like it's again that like stigma that like if you like something cute, if you like plushies, if you like whatever, oh you must be the one that receives some sort of sexual action.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like okay, I suppose.
Oh my god, it's. I just remember. It's just like it hurts me a lot. Like people say like I like as you said, Pocket, about like how you say oh someone likes plushies or like they say basically love like fluffy things and like that's just like you like to receive it.
Yeah.
And like most of the friends that I know, like people that like you know too, like some of them are like you know like muscle or everything like that. You know, don't look like the typical norm thing. They say like, oh, I love fluffy things. I love cute things too. But yet they're like you know they like the dominant part or a top. But like there's no like what is it? There's like no I don't know the word. I don't know the word. How to like describe it? Basically, it's like how the like I'm so sorry. I'm like losing.
No, you're fine.
It's okay.
I'm losing my train of thought.
You're gonna take your time.
You kind of blew my mind with like making me realize that it is just the new socially acceptable way of calling someone gay. Like you know the way people would be like, "Oh, that's so gay," or like, "You're so gay," and now I think they use bottom as a substitute for that, and that's kind of
I will say though that
blown
like
my mind.
I'm not someone. Yeah, it's not quite the same. I know where you're going with it, but like it's definitely like I think socially acceptable because there's not that history of like discrimination and everything against basically being a bottom or whatever. But I get that vibe. Yeah, I think it's really
again,
funny
it's
though.
like that kind of seeing someone as the lesser or out of their place, and like you know and again, this is not talking about every single time someone calls someone else a bottom. I'm just saying that sometimes when people call people a bottom, it can be from that place.
Oh yeah,
of,
for sure.
Like saying, "Oh, you're so gay," or you know.
Which I think is hilarious because like even just like that whole like, oh, you like plushies, you must be a bottom. Like some of the like slightly TMI, I don't know. Some of the like best doms that I have met, like the ones who are respectful, the ones who like, you know, will check in, the aftercare doms, you know, the ones that like know what actually being dominant and like or like, you know, how to be a proper top or whatever, are the ones who are just like covered in plushies and are just like, I am a soft exterior. And like I was talking about that with one of my mods the other day where it was like I can almost like I see the like exact opposite where it's just like if you are like you are so open to being like soft and cute, like it's I almost think easier. I don't know if the easier is the word, but it's almost like you can be a really good dom because you are like open to not being a specific way, whereas like some guys who like puff up their chest and like need to be macho all the time are actually the guys who might want to be submissive and like might want to be taken care of, like behind closed doors.
I love that.
Their toxic masculinity and like are more whole person and are able to maybe see what you might need as well, not just their own gratification.
Yeah.
So if I may interject real quick, I did actually come up with a pretty good topic of discussion in my head while we were talking about the aftercare. Is when it comes to dominance and people consuming like dominant media, or like saying maybe seeing commissions from like certain VTubers and all that, I think part of the issue may be is perhaps they are like I'm just gonna come out and say it, but like they don't see the whole aftercare step. You know what I mean? Like when the VTuber community or whatnot is making this type of content, it is usually
right.
like,
The aftercare
right
takes place off stream, is what you're saying. Like it's not public.
it's like off stream, off panel with art or whatever. Like it is the act or whatever that is constantly being shown off and brought to light, and not like the relationship behind it, the aftercare that is done afterwards. It is the moment that is constantly being shown, instead of all the things that took to get to that moment and after that moment. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, this is a performance, and people don't see the entire thing; they just see a slice of it. And when they try
I don't know what you're talking about. This is exactly who I am. I am a purple-haired anime girl all the time, 24/7. I don't know what you're saying. Couldn't be me.
Well, I am also a tentacle inky hoodie man, but
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, he was scheming against us
I'm 3 octopuses
the whole
in a
time.
hoodie. Like that's what I am IRL.
It's why he does so well at the animal rescue, because he has all those tentacles. He can clear like 3 kennels at once.
I
when you
need like
said
an
that-
atracom of like wait,
No, when
yeah, I need an atracom. You know those what are those, that kid show where it's like the duck and the turtle and the guinea pig? And they're like
Wonder
rescuing
Pets.
Wonder Pets. Yes, I need Atra and a Wonder Pet call.
Hold on, wait, no, freaking Atra, when you said like I'm just like three octopus just like stacked together, I already reminded so that I see like 3 octopus like like have one on top of each other, and then like we're covered up in like a big brown
Octodad.
coat.
The real Octodad shot.
Exactly, Octodad.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm 3 titties in a trench coat. That's just me.
I knew it.
Oh, that extra tentacle popping on my pocket. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just my special pen. Don't worry.
Okay.
One thing I really wanted to quickly add off my point is like, I think I can explain it better this way. So let's say you're like an artist who like specializes in Dom related artwork, right? And all you do is put out the artwork of, the Dom doing their thing and whatnot. That kind of like, what's the word? Kind of like proliferates the notion of like that's how it's supposed to go, or like that is the main focus, right?
Well, I think like especially for artists, and I think Ren can definitely speak to this one. When you draw yourself your OC a certain way, or you make certain types of artwork, people make assumptions about you and like what you will do with people, and like your relationships with other people as well.
Oh god.
I started her up, but take it away, Ren.
I'm shaking. God, it's like, as someone who transitioned from like just purely SFW art to NSFW on my fucking main because I didn't want to bother with an SFW out. There have been assumptions that people are just like, I'm horny all the time, or that I'm down to do some horny art with everyone. It's like,
Or that you're constantly down to fuck.
Or that you're bottom for anybody.
It's like,
Mm-hmm.
like if I draw myself in a more submissive sense, there would be comments that are like, oh yeah, I could attempt to do that to you too, kind of thing. I just want to express myself in some type of way. It doesn't mean that I'm out here trying to be like that with everyone.
Mm.
So
The number of
one-
people that grab your leash.
Oh yeah, the grabbing leash stuff.
Even with my IRL self, like
Mhm.
in cases where I would take pictures with my actual collar and leash, anyone, and there have been people who have attempted to say that, oh yeah, I'm gonna grab it. I'm like, could you not ask permission first? Is consent not something that is meant to be important?
Well,
It's
no,
just
because
kind of
you're a bottom, therefore you don't need consent.
gonna give
Because,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so weird to me. But like, I think like even just like lewd tubing or like lewd art, I think people for some reason, and I think it's a Twitter thing because there is kind of that sense of anonymity. For some reason, they feel like they need to share more than is usually socially acceptable.
What?
Like
Yeah.
I've posted like sus photos of my IRL self, and it's like no strawberry cow. I know what happens with those photos. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know about it. I
Mhm.
had someone come into my DMs being like, "Thanks for helping me this morning. I
my
really needed to get off." And I
Oh,
was like, "Why did I
no.
need to know?
No.
Where in my where? Why?
Like,
I don't
keep
I
it-
don't want to think about it."
Like keep that to yourself. Don't tell us about it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm giving you
that's-
content for free. Don't just. That's the only payment I ask. Just don't tell me.
I
don't wanna
actually have
know.
that. I have that in the boundaries panel under my stream because I don't know if you guys have like picked up, but I actually am a lewd tuber.
No,
And-
you're not.
I
Get
knew
out
it.
of
Oh
here.
my god! I thought you were say so the entire time.
You're
I
not
know,
family
right?
friendly.
What would
We're
tip
not-
you off?
We're not
Oh my
PG-13.
Wait, hang on, guys. I gotta get my thousands of children away from here. Mystique's talking about lewd shit.
I gotta play Kids Bob in the car for them. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
Gotta
okay.
go cover Tofu's ears.
But like something that I explicitly put in the boundaries panel under my stream is like I create content so that you can enjoy it, and I am very aware that people use my content to masturbate or feel sexually gratified, but I don't want you coming in and like telling me your lurid sexual fantasies. Don't tell me the details of what you've been doing. That's not where our relationship is. And again, because we straddle the line of fiction and reality, because it's acceptable to have this kind of feeling towards like hentai or anime character, because they don't exist and you can't interact with them, so you can like safely feel some type of way about them. People are transposing that kind of association onto us, I feel, or not all the time, but often. And I feel like there is people talk to like VTubers and interact with VTubers, particularly lewd tubers, but not always. Like a lot of people go into say so VTuber streams and are like, "Yo, you want this dick?" Or like,
step
"Oh,
on
you make my
me."
pussy do so things."
Like, oh my god, mommy, step on me, please. I'm like, no.
Yeah, that kind of bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, especially the
It's
mommy and
funny
daddy
'cause-
consent thing.
Yeah, legit consent. Consent is sexy. Legit consent is sexy.
Yeah.
That's like the top.
Please,
That's the
guys.
number one thing. Consent is the sexiest thing ever in a relationship. Please.
And literally on my Discord server, where it's a femdom Discord server, we have a rule about not giving people titles without their consent, and that goes both ways towards dominants and submissives, because you're putting people in a position of being a dominant or being a submissive without their consent, and they might not necessarily want that. So yeah, it's so weird when people don't think to extend you that courtesy in a public setting where other people can see you.
Yeah, and bottoming without consent is definitely a thing too. Like, don't get it twisted. It's not just like doms coming in and like being dominant without consent. Some people will sub to you like without your consent too.
Like, oh, mommy,
Yeah, if you're
come and
concerned,
let
if you're
me.
if you don't believe Atra, play a Valorant game. Be a girl. Have a femme voice. And the
Oh,
moment
let
you
me
get
get on
in
my
there,
hands
they're
and
just
Oh
like,
knees.
"Hey, yo, baby
Oh my
girl."
I have stories about that, but that's a topic for another time.
Hey, yo. Me
No, like
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
well, some
there was
people
a.
don't. Yeah, go ahead, Henrik.
Oh no, you go first. You go first. I'll finish mine after.
I was gonna just say, like, some people just don't want to be called daddy or mommy. People respect that. Like, if 8 out of 10 male VTubers will let you call him daddy, 2 out of 10 don't. So, like, you better ask
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, and then there was another topic where like Risuke told me about, whereas like people are using himbo as a label and not like, oh, himbo moment. Which I'm like, I know friends who legit say like, who are legit will like say, oh my god, a himbo moment right there, or I said, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm acting like a himbo right now, and but then there's other people who are like saying, oh, I'm a himbo, I identify as a himbo. Do you
Oh my
even know
god.
what that? Do you even know what that means?
Okay, so
Facts. If you don't look like Kronk, don't talk to me.
That oh, Tronk, I love him. Sorry, but continue. Sorry.
oh my
Okay, so
god, that
wait,
fucking
one-
post of like, oh, you like my memes thrusts into you. Oh,
Ew,
you
what?
interact with my
Oh,
content.
what?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that thing. I saw him posted today.
Like,
It's so fucking gross.
I mean, I voice acted that, so that's attack on my content, Mystique. But
I'm sorry, I'm
God.
doing a microaggression on you, Atra.
I'm joking.
Microaggressions. Hit 'em.
Microaggressions. Oh my god.
All I think of
The
microaggressions is
himbo
South
thing
Park.
is a good point, and Maito's mentioning this in chat as well. People always label me as a himbo and argue that I'm a himbo when I say I'm not. It's the same thing with like people calling like streamers stupid or like himbo. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
why are you making that assumption? Like, why?
You've
are
known me
you-
for 2 seconds.
Exactly. And you're in here
They
calling
just
me
want to
stupid.
feel
Like,
better at times, you know. It's a kind of gratification of like, aha, so silly little streamer. I can help you out.
ugh.
But do we ask for your help though, if you little viewer?
Crazy thing is when I do ask for help, nobody helps me. Like, I'll be out there being like, "Is the volume okay?" And everybody's just like, "Cannot see, cannot hear." Am talking about something else, and I'm like, "Please, need assistance."
Tech support, where are you?
Tech support. He's in Australia.
Oh my god.
Oh man, so funny. And chat,
sorry.
this is just a reminder, since we're coming up on an hour and a half, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into chat. We will get to
Oh,
them as we
Lee.
can.
That's the tech support I was talking about. In case anybody didn't know, my tech support is an Aussie boy who's also my mod.
Oh, I thought you were making a joke!
No. Like, legitimately, anytime there's an issue in my stream, everybody's like, "Wake up, Lee! Wake up! We need you!"
Oh my god.
Do you mind? Wait, do you mind if I? Can I borrow him?
Yeah. Oh, I will rent him out for you. Don't even worry.
How much do I gotta pay? How much? Tell me.
He takes plushies. I think. I don't know.
I have a plushie emo for him. I got one.
Perfect.
For him, hell yeah.
Sorry, Atra. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
We're sorry. We're sorry.
You're fine. I did like.
I have a topic that I think might be good. Atra,
Sure.
finish your thing.
No, go for it, Mystique. I was looking at our list of questions actually.
Oh, well, something that Henrik brought up actually is money, and people thinking that if they give you money that they are entitled to certain things, especially
Oh my god.
if you are a bottom. I
You
find
know what
that
it is? Maybe just like keep giving. Like we just haven't found what that limit is. So if you just
Yeah.
want to like,
If you just
yeah,
want to
it's
keep
okay.
increasing my bank account.
Yeah. Like we'll find it eventually. Just keep
Yeah,
going.
don't
you know?
just keep, like
Maybe-
if we reach the millions digits, like just keep going. Just
think about it. Yeah.
This podcast is
okay.
brought to you by Findom. Findom.
I'm dead.
Oh no. Oh my god. Like legit, like people like pay, like will like donate things. Like, oh my god, please, like or doing like the text to speech. They say, "Step on me," or I say, mommy, sorry," or like, "Step on me, mommy, please," or like, "Please choke me out, daddy." I'm like, this sir, like sir, this is the Chili's.
This
And,
is
like,
a Java juice.
We're not trying to be the fun police either. Like, if that's your relationship with your streamer, or your streamer like encourages that, then by all means, go wild.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely like there's a
But-
time and a place. Like my chat makes jokes like that all the time, and like it's funny in specific areas, but if I'm just like there, like vibing, I don't know, like if I'm playing some cozy game and you're coming in being like, I just gifted you 5 subs, Baby Grill, please send tit pics. I showed you my duck, please
Ew.
respond.
Yeah.
Like,
Ew.
no, that's not how this works.
Like that's not how this works. Like you like just like
Just don't open with that.
Yeah, say
Yeah,
my name first.
like take me out to dinner and then we get to talk.
Yeah, God.
It's just that some of these norms in the VTuber community need to be like examined very closely, because the way that that the majority of people think they can interact with VTubers is not the way you interact with VTubers or people.
Mhm.
No?
Mhm, mhm.
And like legit, another thing with like the money thing was that like I think all you guys would do the same. Like I always tell like my chats like if you want to donate to me, that's cool. But however, please make sure you have enough money for yourself, for your
Mhm.
needs. But like there's also streamers who have said like if you don't donate to me, you're not a true fan. Like just get out of here, unfollow, unsubscribe, and I'm blocking you or whatever. I'm just like it doesn't matter. Like please just check up on yourself. If you're like barely getting by, please do not donate. Like consider please look after yourself first.
Mhm.
And like that's the thing with like Vtubing too, where like people will donate money to like us as well, and then like expect us to give back to them. Like is it like what more do you
Henrik,
want
can
from
you
me?
move back? Can you move back from your mic a little bit? You're peeking.
Oh, am I? I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You're perfect.
You're fine.
I'm not.
It's
perfect.
totally fine.
Sorry, but like I was saying, like people are like expecting like are not making ends meet, and like they still donate to like YouTubers, VTubers, all that, and like it just baffles me saying that like please why like why
Though I think that's probably a little bit off topic, but I totally get what you mean. People will feel that perhaps because you're a dom or because you're like sorry, because I'm reading chat, because you're like submissive, that they need to like take care of you, and therefore, or because you're a bottom, they need to take care of you, and therefore like they need to like put you above themselves.
I think what it comes down to is nothing is a surrogate for consent and knowing somebody. Not someone's identity, not giving them donations, not seeing their interactions with other people. When you interact with a VTuber, it's a blank slate, and you need to build up that trust and responsibility with them.
Sorry, I keep forgetting you guys can see me.
You're fine. You're fine, cutie.
Absolutely.
What was what was I gonna say? Fuck, I lost it. I don't know.
That's okay. Shall we move on to the next question then?
Sure. I mean, the questions have kind of melded together, but I think what we had here for the fourth question, because we talked about bottom coding, expectations. All right, we can talk about communities. And if this is repetitive, just let me know. But this is what we have prepared. How do you find your community treats you as a bottom? Do they coddle you? Do they baby you? Do they bully you? And how do you deal with a lot of the negative aspects of that behavior? And in this case, I'm going to take the word bottom out and just put the word submissive, switch, or bottom in there. Just any of those three, basically. Anything that is considered that people misconstrue as being lesser.
I'll take a stab at it. My community actively knows that I promo myself. I'm like, I'm baby. So like I open that, dialogue of like, yes, coddle me, please remind me to eat and drink, or like, because I will forget because ADHD brain. Like they're very sweet. I love my trashies. They are probably some of the greatest people that I've ever met. And those are mostly the people who have been here for a really long time, who have, hung out with me, who know what I'm like, who know that there is a difference between me being like, oh, I'm baby, I'm joking around, blah, 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 versus, oh, I'm being serious. I actually don't like when you guys do that or whatever. And they're great. But of course, you always have those people. And I think The difference is the Twitter community versus my Twitch community. I'll make memes, and usually when I make memes, it's for my Twitch community, but I post it on Twitter because they follow me on Twitter. And I forget that there are people out there in the Twitter community that don't know me. So they will like take it as like an invitation to, baby me aggressively or try to role play with me in tweets. And I'm like, oh no, that was not what we were here for. Like, I think I made a meme the other day about like, oh, you looked hungry. I brought you a snack. It's me. I am the snack. Like, yeah. And like, I thought it was funny. And the number of people who were like in the comments being like, licks your inner thigh. And I'm like, oh, no,
fucking gross,
it
man.
was just like, it's half a joke because like my aesthetic is strawberries. The other half is because like, when somebody looks good, you call them a snack. I think it's funny, but some people, I don't know. I think it goes back to that idea that like you need to know somebody before you just like start doing shit.
Please have a normal conversation with me before we even do that, please.
Yeah, most people start with hello.
Yeah, like
ask me my name.
Let's say hello.
No problem, Shadow Rose. Shadow Rose is having some technical issues.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna have to dip out. No problem, Shadow Rose. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here, dear.
No worries.
All right. Make sure you give Shadow Rose a follow. They are linked below in the title. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
We love you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Sure thing.
Bye. Love you.
Right. So I think the Twitter thing, like, definitely is a strange sort of place because Smasher passes, like memes like that, like the ones that Mystique mentioned earlier about, oh, you're such a good follower, licks your ear or whatever the hell it was.
I'm
like,
crying.
It really does sort of create this sort of sexual atmosphere, I think, that people really buy into. And when people come into the community and they see this, they're like, oh, well, this is a place where I can RP, this is a place where I can, sort of explore this this desire to be dominant, whatever it is. And they don't really realize, like, these are other people, they didn't consent to any of this,
Well, digital touch or roleplay touch is still touch. Just because it's not physical doesn't mean that it's not some form of contact. And just the way your brain like overlays emotional pain onto your physical pain centers, like if you feel emotional pain, it's pain. It just doesn't have a locus in your body. I think the digital touch that you are like reading and digesting is also a form of touch. And like if I say, oh, hugs pocket or whatever, that's fine because we have this relationship of like being able to touch that way. But I would never just like lick up pockets in a thigh. Like I don't go into a cafe and like walk up to someone and be like, hey, can I lick your nipple? It's just
what? Oh no.
And people don't realize that just because you're doing it digitally doesn't mean that that's not exactly what you're doing.
What do you mean I'm harassing you? I never actually touched you. Wow.
Anonymous, so they don't want to take accountability.
Yeah, also, I'm sorry
accountability in the VTuber space? Nah, that's crazy.
Also, sorry for like laughing when you were talking, Mystique. I just saw what face said. Like, what is this
That's
Twitter
okay.
you speak of? It's now X.
I only know X.
Only know X.
X videos brought to you by Attriment of X.
So that's where
I'm
the
crying.
X came from. Okay.
I'm crying. I had the X first.
Attrimentum is now brought to you by Elon.
He's the new Elon. Atra's actually been Elon this whole time.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, you're the one who fucked Twitter?
Did you ask me to fuck
and
Twitter?
He didn't ask us for consent first.
Bruh.
Sobbing.
Oh
no, I said, are you the one who fucked up Twitter?
Oh, I didn't hear the up part.
Oh, we only heard
I also did. I heard fucked Twitter, and I was like,
I heard fucked.
It's like, no, we talked about this.
No, we love Atra. We stan Atra.
Hell yeah, Stan Atra.
Even if he is sponsored by Elon.
Oh my god.
Okay, I want to take a step. I'll also take my turn to like how my community treats
Community,
me.
yeah, community question, yeah.
So, oh my god. So the thing with me is that like, okay, so before I even like started VTubing or like or like Henrik was made or Henrik was born, I had a friend who I asked to like do a commission, and like I think he made the mistake of me being a bunny as a gerbil.
What?
And yeah, it's because of the. I think it was because of the way of the ears. I'm not so sure how, but that kind of stick with me. And I was like, I'm not a gerbil. I am a rabbit slash bunny, whatever you call
I'm
it.
dying.
Yeah, and everyone, like all my friends, like make a joke of it too. Like, say, like, sorry, I couldn't hear you. All I heard was squeak, 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 squeak,
Oh,
and like
Like
also
what?
like like
Squeaking.
squeak, squeak, squeak.
Gerbil noises.
It's squeaking.
No,
Yeah,
I'm saying like what?
what? Wait, what?
No,
Sorry?
like you go like what? Like
No,
why am I squeak squeak squeak?
yeah.
because the people are mistaking me as a gerbil. Because like
Yeah,
they
no,
just
I'm,
like they
yeah,
kind
no, I'm saying that's what you would say.
of no.
You'd be like, hello?
Yeah, like, right? Yeah. But for me, like they like sometimes like bully me for like making like there's like a little small dumb mistake. I said, "Oh, you played that wrong. Like, why did you even do that?" And I was like, "Listen, it's not my fault. It's the game's fault." I tried to push the blame onto the game, or like something else. I'm not so sure. Um, but like they really like they do sometimes baby me too, where like I ask them for help too, because like I'm dumb. I brain go no burr. I don't know how it works. But they sometimes bully me, where like to the point where sometimes like they push it a little bit too much and says like, hey, I appreciate that, but I need you to like tone it down a little.
Mm-hmm.
Because like it's giving me like I'm very uncomfortable with it too, and the way they're like I don't know how like I don't know how to like to read text sometimes, but like sometimes I feel like pushing their needs onto me when I'm like I'm okay.
That's actually something that is a very good point, or has brought up a very good point. People who overtly seem to be like top or bottom coded, quote unquote, there seems to be differing but still present expectations that you will perform certain types of emotional labor. And I'm interested to know what types of emotional labor have you been like asked to do?
That's a good combo. I think with my community, something that I think a lot of VTubers do it actually, not just, quote unquote bottoms or whatever, but like that rule that like, please don't trauma dump in my chat. Like please don't mistake my niceness and like, yeah, I care about you. Yes, I want you to be okay, but please don't mistake that for like I am now your therapist. Right? Like, or, if I'm doing some sort of like cute content or whatever, don't mistake that for like you can now push all of your trauma on me. You can now, want to own me because you want to like, feel like you are doing something with your life or whatever. Haven't quite gotten there with my community. I don't want to say yet, but who knows? Don't want to get there,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with the same boat on you, Pocket, with that. Like, I just like, listen, I'm not your therapist. I don't know how to I don't know how to like give you solutions. Like, if you want to vent, that's okay. I'll just listen. However, it's your job to find a solution, or just talking with a professional that knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just a dumb streamer that plays games and gives you entertainment.
I'm just a bunny.
I'm just a bunny. Let me be. like please just like seek the correct help that you need. Like your friends will be there to listen, but they also will give you the same answer. Say talk to a therapist about it, or or take some time off and like do like a reflection journey for yourself. And
It's
yeah,
hard
that's
because like social networks and like people's like IRL support networks are very tenuous, especially after COVID as well. And
oh yeah.
like you just had a generation of like young people like who would normally form these like networks in like undergrad or school or something, like have to stay at home for 3 years. And I feel that's having a spillover. Like this would have happened regardless, I think, but there's definitely a spillover onto like online entertainers, content creators, and VTubers. Like the sort of parasocial need to have someone to talk to, and then like oversharing and sort of like trying to have this person help fix you, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Didn't you know that's the position of a bottom/sub? You're supposed to be there for people to use. What?
I mean, people come at like tops/dominance in a different way as well, where
Yeah.
they want you to like take control and like listen and be like a comforting authority figure. And I'm curious, for people who are identify or are perceived on like the bottom or more submissive end of the scale, if the expectation of the type of emotional labor that you are like supposed to perform is different. Like if you're supposed to be there like and let people aggressively take care of you, or like just treat you like a plush toy and hug you or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like accepting of that emotional labor that they're asking you to perform.
Yeah. Um, well, it's like for like when like people are like venting to me their problems and all that, because like when I stream, I want the stream to be a safe space, like just like you had like a bad day at work, or like some like customer was like yelling and saying, Let me get your manager," or whatever, and like you just want a bad day at work, and like just relax, breathe. If you want to like watch some streams, that's cool. Just breathe, and like if they allow you to vent too, then that's okay. Just don't like put your entire life into like one fucking sentence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think
It
there's a difference between like, can I vent about my day versus
dumping. Yeah.
like, can you fix me? Can like, oh, like, or like guilt tripping. That's the thing I
Yeah.
can't stand, where people are just like, oh, woe is me.
Ew.
Nobody loves me. If you loved me, you would let me come on stream with you. Boo hoo. And it's like, oh my
Ew.
god.
I hate that. I hate that. Even in relationships, says like people that said like do this or I'll hurt you, or like especially do this or I'll hurt myself,
Mm.
and that's an entirely different thing.
Well, it's still a threat.
Oh
yeah, yeah, and like where like they push all their problems onto you so you can fix that because they think that you can fix them. But like it's like, how am I gonna take care of myself though when I'm fixing you? Like it's like you're not handling. I'm handling all your problems.
There's definitely a
Mhm.
manipulative like downside to that. There's definitely something that's very much off about that.
Yeah.
People seek that out sometimes. But like that's also what ties into like the bully culture on Twitch too. Like people are feeling disempowered in their everyday lives, so they come in and they start bullying people. They say, "Oh, you're a bottom. You're a himbo. You're this. You're that. Whatever it is." It's trying to fill something that's like missing in of like having emotionally healthy relationships.
Yeah.
So chat, we are coming up on 2 hours actually. So if you guys have any questions for us, please feel free to drop them in the chat.
Yeah. Give us your questions.
Tell us your innermost thoughts.
Points gun at you. Give me a question now.
Yeah.
I mean, like speaking for myself, so I'm not a bottom. I'm a switch at best, and I find that most of my interactions with people.
What?
not the what?
I'm dead.
What? My vision. I thought you were a top all the time, but
Well,
wow.
actually,
But
I
that's
mean,
awesome.
well, I mean, what it is like I find that I'm in most of like my content, most of like my interactions with people, I am the more dominant one. That's just the nature of who I attract into, like my interaction with people and my community and such. And I would say I'm definitely a top leading switch, to put it like 90% top leading switch, but like that's not my entire identity or personality. I'm very multifaceted. Like I have other things. Like I rescue dogs. Is that a top thing or a bottom thing?
Yeah, like we contain legions, we contain multitudes, we can keep more than one idea in our heads at the same time.
Yeah.
I actually was going to ask for our lovely host because I think it's cool to get your guys's. I feel like Mystique's so bottom, so
Yeah,
bottom.
so bottom. Like I'm
would love
Step
to
on me-
know like
step
what
on me, mummy pocket. Ooh.
Ugh.
crying. The only stepping that mommy pocket would do is swatting you with a slipper and being like, "Finish your
Not,
homework."
not the chancla, not the chancla.
It's like, you want a mommy? Did you clean your room? Did you finish your homework?
Yeah, do your fucking homework. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear like what the kind of, I guess, expectations your communities kind of put on you. I guess for like Atra, it would be more of like, the thought that you have to be like a daddy, or even like a Mystique who like, everybody's just like, yes, mommy. Like, I'm curious to hear the experiences.
You go first, Atra. Sorry, I'm just dealing with something quickly. Like
Oh no! Oh sorry, no, sorry. I
no,
didn't mean to laugh,
like
sorry.
Atra, you go first. I will keep hearing things.
So we're I'm sorry, because I also was looking at the same thing.
You are perfect. I can
It's all right, I've got it.
leadle if you guys want to deal with things.
Leedle.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry.
Perfect.
You do the thing.
So I don't give off like, I mean, I've joked about the daddy thing. Even for Father's Day, I made a whole meme video about like with that size.
If you've called me daddy, yeah.
Oh,
I
I did not.
expect a gift.
Well, no, like, I joke about it, like I'm dad, Trump, daddies, whatever it is, but I don't actually take it seriously. It's a joke. It's a joke. I'm not anyone's daddy compared to take care of myself, to be honest. I have no fucking time.
Yeah, Atra loves it when you tell him to take care of yourself. Like he really, really loves that. It's the best thing ever.
Nice.
Well, yeah,
I love that too.
that's an entirely other like little pet peeve I have, but like, no, it hasn't come up like that. But I've definitely had people like come to me being like, "Oh, well, I've seen you do this or that, or like, you do this with somebody else. Like, would you do it with me?" Like, they don't even ask that nicely. Sometimes they'll just come straight, like, just do it. And like, I don't think it's specifically a male VTuber problem or a thing that like we only have to deal with, but I definitely feel it's not something I've had to deal with before until I became a VTuber, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good points.
Yeah. Oh, Faye has a question. Is there an aspect of your identity at the bottom or the bottom elements of your verse identity that you wish you were given more attention, elements that get overlooked in favor of the repetitive stereotypes?
That's a good question. I feel like I'm gonna need a hot second to think about that, but I don't know if Mystique wanted to.
My
answer.
tracking is keeping. Sorry.
No, you're
That's-
okay. I was curious
good.
about your experience. I wanted to hear your experience.
Oh,
It's really just a reason for me to listen to Mystique's voice. So wiggle, wiggle.
wiggle, wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle. I feel like probably because I'm dominant and like maybe this is also like a completely stereotypical thing that I'm falling into. But I feel like as someone who is overtly like dominant, even if I'm a much softer kind of dominant personality than many who are like, ooh, me big bad dominatrix, rah, kind of people. It's easier for me to keep control of chat and like how they speak to me and managing and controlling their like expectations and mine. But I find that there are two things that kind of stem from this. One is that if I perform any kind of softness or like quote unquote bottom texting, which is basically keyboard mashing, stuff like that, people will be like, "Oh, well, you're bottoming, so I can like pat you on the head now."
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I actually really don't like being patted on the head by people I don't know. And a lot of people do it, especially if I like am being cute or like, just am being soft for a minute. And the other is people who are like, oh, well, you make lewd content and you're very dominant. Therefore, I should be able to like present myself for you to fuck, and therefore you will fuck me or ERP with me or whatever the case is. Like, I all I need to do is present myself for some kind of sexual contact, and you will take me up on it. And it's not the case. But I feel as someone who is dominant, and like has that as part of my content and my online persona, that it's easier to control and enforce those boundaries than someone like a bottom, because people don't expect pushback and aggression and assertion in that way.
I think I want people to realize that being a Switch is not just like literally flipping a switch. It takes an intense amount of like trust and knowing somebody for me to even get in the headspace to be like submissive to anybody. Like end of story. Like it takes a lot, and that's maybe my own problem. Like unpacking like culture and like Americanism and New Yorkerism and God knows whatever identity I have to like make myself soft for a bit. But yeah, I mean, people gotta realize like there's so much that goes into it, and it's not just the position. It's not just like being, penetrator being penetrative, or who's on top, or just like I'll bottom for you. Like, nah, it never ends up, it never goes that way. It never does. It's a mindset thing, and a lot of making lewd content is mindset, and there's a lot of times where my head's not in it. And I think this is the case for a lot of lewd content creators also.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like that. It's not like turning off the lights in the room, or not a Nintendo Switch.
Let me push your buttons, baby girl.
Let me push buttons, baby boy.
Yeah, I'm a Joy-Con. I don't really connect all that well, and you just wave me around.
Beep boop, play
to get me
video
off.
game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there a lot of it plays into like gender norms as well. It's our sexual dynamics as people is very complex, and I think that there is a lot of the tension comes in where people are transposing those expectations of like people on a screen who are not real or who are providing one-way content into a space where you are providing two-way content, where you are talking and people can talk back. I am stun-locked and I've completely forgotten how I was going to end that thought, but there it is. Please do with it what you will.
It was a beautiful thought.
It was.
Oh, you're a beautiful thought.
T-H-O-T, aha! Yeah. I'm trying to think. I had a good response, and now it's gone. So if anybody else,
I know. I'm
respond.
sorry.
No, it's not you. It was like I read the question, had a response, and then it all drifted away.
Sorry, Renry?
Oh, sorry.
No.
Renry, go.
Oh no. Wait. Just to make sure, because I'm having some connection issues. I've been having it for a bit. I just want to know if I can be heard properly or not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you. Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Thank fuck.
Like we discussed the other day, Mystique, you don't need to finish for it to be worthwhile.
I'm crying.
I love Faye so fucking much.
I also love Faye.
The question was about like how the stereotypes of bottoming is, right? So I think how I don't know why, but like when anyone sees like any like animal ears or like animal characteristics on VTubers, they think they see it like let's say like if someone sees like a dog VTuber, oh top. They see like a catboy VTuber, oh bottom. Bunny boy VTuber, bottom. I'm like
The cat girl VTuber can be a top.
Yeah, but cat girl VTuber, top.
But if it's a femboy cat, then it's a bottom. Like I don't understand.
Yeah. But like, things like,
these are the rules.
Like, you're just making assumptions. You don't know them. You don't know me. But things like I am a bunny boy and a bottom. But like, I don't like. I don't want to. I'm not gonna tell you that like I'm a bottom. But like, if you kind of figure it out yourself, then congrats. I guess.
So funny. It's like not all bunny boys are bottoms. I might be one, but not all of them are.
No, it's actually true. It's actually.
I mean, yeah, it is. It very much
funny.
is.
I think it comes into what we were talking about as like coding, like semiotics, whereas like if you are like a smaller creature or a softer creature, particularly a domesticated creature, as a male, you come across as like submissive or feminine, and
Yeah.
that is seen as, again, submissive and like being receptive, etc. Whereas like if you're a lion or a bear or something, then you're probably a top. And like it's so random because they're animals. They have no conception of BDSM. Like
Exactly.
I mean,
Like-
dolphins might, but
yeah, I mean dolphins are there.
we don't talk about dolphins.
Weird though.
We don't talk about dolphins. We don't talk about them. They're my favorite animal, but not anymore after what I learned.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
But like,
But like a cat or a rhino or a giraffe, they don't know about BDSM, so why are they inherently dominant or submissive? And it's because of like hunting versus like herbivores versus carnivores, and whether or not they're domesticated.
masculinity.
Yeah.
oh my
Except
goodness.
horses, because they have reputations for having big dicks, therefore masculine.
I'm
Okay.
crying.
Are
You could be a
horse
top
VTubers?
being a horse guy.
Bruh.
Are there
I'm
horse
rebranding.
VTubers?
I think so. I think so.
I know
But,
one.
I saw,
I know
there's a-
one.
I saw a comment from Hero Bunny. Those who think bunnies as a bottom/sub haven't seen Watership Down and my Monty Python. I know about the Monty Python. I know about that one because I was
That's
shown
funny.
a clip of that back in high school. Bunnies can will fuck you up.
Rico
Yeah.
asked the question earlier too. Come on, Rico.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of it's a little bit off topic, but I think it's also good to talk about. I've seen going around Twitter about loot tubers grow faster than say so tubers because of the type of content they produce, but I feel like people are missing the point on why you want to support that person. Because you like that person, and being loot isn't a one-dimensional thing. Sorry, this is confusing. So I think what Uriko is trying to say here is, I lost it.
So what I think what Uriko is trying to is probably pointing at is that there is a stereotype that LewTubers grow faster than say-so tubers because they provide some kind of sexual gratification. Personally, I don't think that's true because, like, once you've got off, what are you going to do with the other, like, 24 hours and 57 minutes of the day? If you're boring, people will just leave.
But I think
If-
this actually brings up a good point. Like, there is no blueprint to growing as a VTuber, and that includes being top or dominant or overly masculine or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting when people think that, like, oh, well, lewd tubing, you'll grow more. I would love to say, like, show me the proof, because the two biggest lewd tubers that I can think of, or like the two people that I think of when I think of like lewd tubing on Twitter, yeah, cool, their numbers are explosive. Their streams, not so much. So it really depends on like what are you thinking of when you're thinking of numbers? What are you thinking of when you're thinking about growing? Like, what is your goal? Because ultimately that changes for everybody. My goal for VTubing might be different than what Mystique's goal is or what Henrik's goal is. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think it's kind of like that whole conversation that, like, oh, well, girls grow faster, and it's just how many of those people show up to stream versus how many of them are trying to be creepy in my DMs.
Yeah, how many of them do we block 5 minutes after they arrive?
Yeah. There was like going into that about YouTubers, how they grow. Like, I remember about like how there are some people. Well, I think at least I know one person who I'm not gonna name said, like, they said this, and I quote, "YouTubers should not exist." When like
Then don't look at them.
but, yeah,
Fuck you very much too.
and I'm like, I'm friends with YouTubers, and I think they're doing a great job what they're doing, and their streams.
Close your eyes, baby girl. Don't look. Like, I don't.
Yeah, and like they would.
Exist.
Yeah, like I said, like, yeah, and like they're like saying like, oh, they don't deserve, like, all they do is like moan once and they get a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
So don't give the money.
Yeah.
Nobody is asking
am I
you to
rich yet?
shell out money.
Am I rich?
Okay, hang on, wait, pause, because that makes me laugh, because that reminds me of another person who made some like comment about me, who was like, well, you're just using people for money. We're streamers. You stream on Twitch. Like half of the your stuff, it comes from people subbing to you. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of is what streaming is. Like, I don't like. I'm. If you think that I'm getting money, I would love to see where, like, what bank account you're looking at. Because
Yeah,
it
I
ain't
would love to
mine.
see the money you are
I
talking
would love
about.
to see that $1 million you have in that bank account,
Damn.
man.
Oh, I can't. I don't
Ugh.
understand that.
I've got to add that, like, I love YouTubers for how, like, just straightforward and uninhibited they could be.
Yes.
Like, we got done with a recording, and I won't name this person because it could potentially, like, embarrass them, but they were like, "Oh, you guys are great. We should have an orgy." And like,
I'm dead.
Oh.
and they just meant it in, like, this friendly, like, cool way. Like, oh, we really like, we're really vibing. I like you a lot. We should like all get together and fuck and make some content. And
You know
I
what?
just
I
love
appreciate that.
Yeah, just be
Honestly,
straightforward and just say it. I love it.
That was
Yeah.
one thing I was not expecting to hear. That, hey, you did great content. Let's have a gangbang. I'm like, what the fuck?
But note, it's because you guys know each other. It's because that wasn't the first fucking thing that they say to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But it was amazing, and I was like, you know what? Yes, let us do that at some point. But like they just meant that, like, oh, I like you so much and we vibe so well that, like, we can make that kind of content together.
Definitely the point being here, like, what I want to impart on everybody is Vtubing is not an easy way to succeed. It's very difficult. The mindset's difficult, and the way people see you is difficult as well. So by no
a lot of
means
effort.
And by no means should anyone take that as a shortcut, and by no means should anyone go out of their comfort zone and be something that they're not. Whether it's like being like submissive or being like people bully you, like enforce your boundaries, BB.
Yeah.
It's like that girl who's actually introverted but, like, puts on makeup and acts in, like, ways that she's totally not comfortable with because she thinks that's what she needs to do to, like, fit in. This is not pointing at anybody. This is from a 50s PSA that I was watching that has made me think of this.
I was thinking like 2000s, like coming to, or what's that term? Those 2000s movies
Coming of age,
for like
coming of
teens.
age.
Coming of age.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Like those ones where it's just like, oh my god, all she needed to be beautiful was to take off her glasses. What?
And take out the ponytail.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think it's very important that people know that, like Atra said, Vtubing is not a shortcut to success.
Yeah.
And you should not try and be something that you aren't, because it will end up making you miserable.
Big facts.
Yeah, and like with like the difference with like YouTubers and say so streamers, like they both have. I feel like they're both like equal with like what they do. Like they have an audience, and their audience loves what they do. Like just don't compare the two. Like as in like one side's doing better than the other, or like say so streamers are much better than YouTubers. No,
And,
they're
like,
both great.
We're all
They're both-
On
streamers.
Twitch, we have all the same rules anyway. Like,
Yeah, we all have the same rules. Like I said, don't bring politics into our stream, nor racism, and like etc. Like yeah, like we're all equal. Like just don't compare us about like our money and shit. Like
But yeah, people
It's-
nobody, like, don't let anyone bully you because you think like that's like how you keep them as a fan or you keep them in your community. Because for
Yeah.
the long term, communities that stick by you and will be sustaining and welcoming to other people, not just you but other people, are ones that respect people's norms, do not bully each other, like, you know, without consent and such, and honestly break out of this fucking mold where it's like, I'm gonna bully you, call you bottom, call you bitch, this kind of thing, and like just make you feel bad, because that's gonna affect you, your content, and people around you. I'm taking my Twitch moderator, Discord moderator hat off right now, just like, yep, okay. Because like I will call it out when I see it. Like, it's not breaking a rule, but hey, be nicer to each other, and you better take those DMs. Like, don't put that like in my community, that kind of thing.
You can't eat at the say-so table. You're rude.
Right. Or hear about it and say, yeah, it's not freaking high school, but people act like it still is.
You can't sit with us.
You only can wear pink on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
You can only be lewd on Twitch.
I'm about to get a pink hoodie. On God.
Oh
Let's
my god.
go.
Oh, hell
Send me your
yeah.
texture
Mine.
maps. I will give you a pink hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would
What's a
specifically
texture
wear
map?
pink.
It's the like the sheets with all your like parts, your PNGs, with all the
Sheets
parts
all
of your model.
parts.
Yes.
Yeah, give me your parts, Atra. I'll make them pink for you.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Do I want to do that actually?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
For free in this economy?
For free? Wrong website.
Oh, free.
Oh. Flea.
Oh, free.
Crazy.
Pink Atra, pink Atra.
Yeah,
Okay,
pink.
okay.
Gotcha.
I think we're losing we're losing it here. So why
Sorry.
don't no, we're good. But why don't we start to wrap things up, because we just hit the 2 hour map mark and we're gonna get a little loopy after this.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
What? Loopy on stream. Crazy.
What?
That's insane.
yeah, all most depths episodes like are about 2 hours, because I just know that people will start to get tired after 2 hours. Like,
What?
Yeah,
And then the
You
topic starts wandering, and we just all get like a little bit weird.
I've been
What?
wondering. We were talking about Pink Atra. I feel like that's super on topic.
Hell yeah.
Don't you know
Like, look-
pink things mean bottom?
Oh my god! Oh my god! That was like another good topic. How like people like think like certain. Oh wait, do we talk about that? How people like certain things like they think bottom. Like,
yeah,
I thought.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we do. Okay, just want to make
No,
sure.
but if
Sorry.
anyone has like any like closing thoughts, feel free to like just put them out there.
For me, we just need to start using the correct terms and not use terms to identify others' personality / action, responsive behavior, etc.
Preach.
Hell yeah.
My closing thought is usually just what I tell my community: just don't be a fucking asshole. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, bro. Like
Hell yeah.
if
Know your
I-
worth. Know your worth, queen. Know your worth.
Yes, I'm like, I guess like even like when you're talking to new people, if you wouldn't say it in front of your mom, you probably shouldn't say it to someone
Exactly,
the first
like-
time you see them. Like,
Yeah. So if it's something you don't, it's not. It's like if the thing is not nice, then
Mhm.
just don't say it.
yeah.
Simple.
Mm.
And then don't be a
Please.
little bitch when like you eventually say it and the mods kick you. Like I don't know what to tell you. You kind of
Well, Pocket, I think
gotta
the good takeaway I took away from like the things you've talked about today, the good takeaway I took away, whatever,
took away.
Queen.
is your statement to like not make it your entire identity when you're a VTuber or when you're out in this community. I think is a very powerful statement. I think that's a really good conclusion to take away from us.
Hell
You're
yeah.
You are
multifaceted as a
You're
person.
multifaceted. You're more than just a bottom. Your favorite streamer is more than just a bottom or a top or a dom. So get to know
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
Diversify.
Hell yeah. Diversity.
Bestie, any last thoughts?
Honestly, as someone as you guys were talking about with boundaries and just learning on like how to say no when things get uncomfortable. As someone who is very much a people pleaser, especially concerning past situations that have led me to this point, it makes it very hard for me to actually say whether or not I am feeling comfortable. But I am very much learning to do so, especially when it comes to like chat or people that I interact with who are like, oh yeah, let's fluster this individual to the point that they can't speak anymore because they want to hear that bottom texting, all that kind of stuff.
Sadism.
Yeah, there's a slight bit of sadism that's just, again, when a joke is taken too far, it just, the fun is gone. It's not fun anymore, especially if you make the actual person who is targeted uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Please, no, let's all learn the ideals of, let's all learn the importance of consent and just getting to know people. Again, they're more than just like tops, bottoms, whatever kind of placement you guys have in your sexual dynamics. We are people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of content we make, we are people.
That is a great point. That's a great point.
What?
Trying to fluster
tell-
bottoms and all that shit, like, it's so overdone.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
And Mystique, I'll have you wrap it up. Actually, Mystique, how do you any closing thoughts?
Yeah. I think it's important to learn more about the person you're talking to and learn more about yourself, because part of the issues that we've discussed tonight is people being unable to self-reflect and take a good look at their own behavior and take a look at their behavior and be able to see why something is wrong, if it is wrong, and correct it. Like, hold your hand up and go, oh shit, I fucked up so hard here. I am sorry. I think that the main takeaway here is to just reflect and get to know people and get to know yourself. And also, do you mind if I plug something real quick, Atra?
Oh yeah, we're
Not
gonna
you,
plugs next,
obviously.
actually, but go ahead.
I am selling an audio pack, an audio and art pack to raise money for an LGBTQ friend who has been made homeless because of being made because of being LGBTQ, and they are in desperate need of a wheelchair, and they have had a mass on their liver that's just been discovered that may be cancerous. Things suck. So I have made some audios that are 20 and 40 minutes long, and some exclusive arts and a mini doujinshi that I will be selling to help raise money for that person. So if you could please keep an eye out on Twitter, I hope that you will donate whatever you can or buy the pack if you enjoy pornography.
I very strongly endorse Mystique's skills at making audios and her eye for art also. That's how we met, actually, from the script writing and recording my scripts. So
yeah,
endorse on that.
I mean, have you heard her voice? She's amazing.
Exactly.
Stop.
So Henrik, anything to plug?
Plug as in like what? Like what am I plugging?
Your channel?
Your socials.
Promote yourself. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like I said, dum.
No.
You're perfect.
Thank you. So you can find me on Twitter at Henrik Vtuber. Also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Henrik_VT. I'm a variety streamer. Right now, I'm mostly focusing on Fire Emblem Engage, finishing a DLC. And honestly, last night I wanted to lie down and perish. The map was so fucking long. No, like the map was long. The one character sucks. I hate him, and now I just want to cry.
Wait, which character?
Oh my god. I don't know if you played it. Wait, you played it before, right?
I played it.
You played it, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. The brother in the DLC.
Oh, I haven't played the DLC yet. Okay, never mind.
You'll find out. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Tune into Henrik's stream to watch him cry.
Actually, there were points I did cry on stream where I relate to characters a lot.
Poor Pete.
Where and they also I some people might hate me, but I also play League of Legends, so I don't know if you're like that. But
Get out of the studio.
Everybody has a red flag. I said mine earlier. I play Valorant. It's okay.
I also play Valorant as well.
Some of us have 2 flags.
That's too...
I'm doing my best.
Some of us are the United Nations.
I also play Genshin and all kinds of stuff.
Some of us are the United Nations. I love that.
But yeah, you can find me. I'm a variety streamer. Like I said, I play League, Fire Emblem, Nintendo games. I plan to play a new game soon. But yeah, I'll see you guys there sometime. Yay, that's me.
Thank you, Henrik. I appreciate you.
Take spotlight off me. Take spotlight off me, please. Take someone else, please.
Okay. Pocket. Anything to plug?
Yeah. That's about it. I mostly, you can find me on Twitter. I think my @ is Pocket Trash VT. And then okay, thanks. And my Twitch, I stream here and there. Do I have a schedule? No, because brain go burr. I believe my TikTok is under the same so I'm attempting to do more TikToks, and we have some song covers up on YouTube, but we don't really talk about those because
I have so many TikToks featuring
What's
you.
that? Wait, what's that? Pocket, what's that? You say I should go to your YouTube support for your covers? I got you. I'm doing it right now.
Anyways, Renry.
Next up, we got my best friend, Renry. Anything to plug?
Well, you guys can find me, obviously it's Renry, both on my Twitter and here on Twitch. I wish I would. I want to stream more consistently, but you'd mostly just find me on Twitter if ever you want to interact. My comms are open, especially for like the smug. I'm making little emote comms with like smug eyebrows.
Oh my god! Please make me one. I will pay you so much money.
Oh yeah, I'm.
I will pay you some money.
I really want to draw you, Mystique. I will.
Please draw me! Oh my god! I will. I don't know what I can do for you, but I'll do stuff.
So, chat, if you want a smug browse emote like the one in chat right now, feel free to.
Oh, is it that one? Oh my god,
one.
I would definitely
I need
throw
it. I need it so bad.
Yeah,
I would definitely
Renry
throw
is
my
the
wallet.
artist.
I would definitely throw my wallet, credit card, social security number, and probably my my GameStop gift card at you, please.
Just take my identity.
just take it, take it all.
Y'all too fucking sweet.
Again,
It's like the. I'm sorry. It's like that one meme really the guy's like grabs credit card and just slams it on the table so much. This is me with everything with like art, especially this one right now, the smug one. I was like, take it, give me, take it.
Yeah, Ren is my artist for my PNG and my emote as well. That emote right there, and she's an amazing artist.
Ooh. Yay! We love artists. We support them.
Yes. And I've been at Trementum_X, variety streamer and Vtuber. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Dansley, YouTube. Follow the Depths podcast on YouTube too. Like and subscribe to this video.
Yeah.
You can find me on ladymystique.tv. All of my social links will be there.
Thank you, Mystique.
Yeah.
And now to end the episode, as we do traditionally, I'm going to play a teaser video for the next episode. So once again, thank you for tuning in to the Depths. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Hello?
Oh, have you muted us during this video?